Be informed and stay up to date with what your elected representatives are doing on your behalf with the State House Report.
Hi, I'm Representative Annie E. McDaniel, serving House District 41, which encompasses all of Fairfield County, a portion of Chester County, and a portion of Richland County, Richland Northeast. What I will do today is share with you a little bit about me, how I got involved in politics, and then some of the bills that we will be discussing or may have already discussed here during this 124th session of the South Carolina General Assembly. I am from Winsboro, Fairfield County. I attended the public schools of Fairfield County. Upon graduation, I was a class salutatorian. I matriculated to the University of South Carolina. While at the University of South Carolina, I obtained my bachelor's degree in accounting. Left there, went to work in private industry with Blue Cross Blue Shield, where I actually started my accounting career. I left there and then I went to work for the state of South Carolina. While at the state, I decided I would pursue my master's degree. So then I matriculated back to USC and obtained my master's in public administration. Once I graduated with my degree in public administration, I became the business manager for the school district of Fairfield County, my home school district. From there, I went to work as the finance director for Fairfield County. While I was working as the finance director, I had several individuals approach me about running for the school board. Me, run for the school board? Nah, didn't want to do that. But they kept asking me. They saw the passion that I had when I actually worked for the district. So I said, okay, I'll give it a chance. So I ran for office and I won. I served 18 years on the school board there. Then I left Fairfield County and then I worked a little bit for some school districts doing audits, finance director. I worked a little bit for Voorhees College, Benedict College, did some audits there, some work for some local municipalities, and finally started back working with the school district of Charleston County School District. I left there, worked a little bit for Clarendon School District, and that's when I decided I was going to just go ahead and retire. Well, upon retirement, and did I say to you that I ran for this seat 5 times before I actually won? Well, I did. During the off years when I was on the school board, I would run for the House. So if I didn't win, I would still maintain my seat with the school board. So on this last chance, I think God just ordained everything because I left my job and went on and retired. Then I was sitting at House of Prayer in Winsboro, ironically enough. And it was like a little angel just sat on my shoulder and said, I think it's time for you to run for the House. So I picked up the phone, I called Trav Roberts with the South Carolina Democratic Party, and I said, Trav, I said, when is the deadline to apply for the House of Representatives for Fairfield County? He said, well, you have 23 minutes. I said, 23 minutes? I said, okay, bye. So I jumped in my car. The young lady, when I was at the House of Prayer, we were passing bags out to the students so that they would have food during the spring break. So I told the young lady, I said, I'll be right back. I got to run across town. So I jumped in my vehicle, ran across town, completed all of the information, and I think the young lady said I had about 2 minutes left. So that's when God started the process of me fulfilling the purpose, because I know my purpose in life is always to help people, and I always do things to try to help people. So we took the run for it. Timing was perfect. I mean, everything else that happened, you could just tell it was ordained. A lot of the people who didn't support me before, they came to me now. They supported me. A lot of things that was going on, a lot of shenanigans. He made sure those didn't happen this time. So here I am, the representative. I won my first election. Just now won my second term here as a representative. Now let me tell you a little bit about I'm going to tell you a little bit about the process first. And there's an app at SC Legislature that I normally encourage everyone to download so that you can follow us. You can see the committee hearings that are going on. You can see us while we're debating the bills on the floor. But the real work that goes on with the laws being established here in South Carolina, we'll pre-file each representative. They can pre-file as many bills as they want. The speaker will read those bills. He will send them to committee. Once they get in committee, they'll get assigned to a subcommittee. Subcommittee is where you can come and you can actually voice your concerns or your support for the various bills. If they make it through that subcommittee, they come back to the full committee. The full committee will take a vote, and if it passes full committee, then it comes to the House. It will be debated on the floor. If it passes the House, then it goes over to the Senate. If it passes the Senate, then it goes to the governor's desk. The governor will sign it, and then it will become law. But now the governor can veto it. But if the governor veto, which means that he doesn't like it, he's not going to approve it, it will come back to the House and the Senate. And then in order for us to override his veto, it takes a 2/3 vote. So if that bill gets a 2/3 vote, then it's overridden and it will still become law. Some of the legislation that we've had so far this year includes, we had one on school districts where there was concern that the default rate not default, but on the Palmetto scholarships, some of the students were losing those scholarships once they went to college. So there was a bill introduced to require students to, this is in the House now, and I'm not speaking of what happened once it hit the Senate, but these are just House bills. So they wanted the students to take a math and a computer science or English before they could graduate 12th grade. It doesn't matter because we know at some school districts, students start taking math and English that counts towards graduation in the middle school. But that didn't matter. The person that introduced this still wanted the students to take these classes as a senior with hopes that they would not lose their Palmetto scholarship. I didn't vote for that. I didn't approve of it because they could not give any data to show that that was the real reason why the students was losing the scholarships. So I kind of argued it in committee. I had a few words to say about it on the floor, but it ended up passing anyway. One of the ones that was really huge was fetal heartbeat. That was a bill that says that if you try to have an abortion, the doctor must determine if there's a heartbeat. If there's a heartbeat, then the doctor cannot perform that abortion. We had one today where someone introduced, well, actually was the speaker, introduced legislation where when the governor issues emergencies, the House and the Senate could come back in and I think after 15 days, I don't remember all the particulars of it because I didn't really agree with it because the governor is basically the supervisor for all of the cabinet positions, and he has the authority to tell them what they can and cannot do. And I think with the General Assembly coming in and taking that authority away from him, and we don't have anybody to report to us, then if we override a decision that he made, or if we stop the emergency order that he's put in place, then if there are things that need to be done, we don't have staff to direct to do anything. So I was not good, but I chose to just abstain and not vote on it. And I figure, the governor and the speaker and the Senate president can work that out. But other bills that may be coming up, and I missed some because we've approved quite a few this year. Some of the ones that I'm understanding is also going to come up is the lethal injection for someone who gets the death penalty. Currently, if they select the injection, we cannot get the serum. The company that gives us the serum for the injection, I'm calling it a serum, but maybe something else. But the company that gives that we would purchase that from, they do not want to be known. They want to stay anonymous. Where in the state of South Carolina, they cannot because it's purchased with government money. So we've not been able to get the serum to be able to administer the lethal injection. So those persons who have been given the death penalty that selected the serum, they're still on death row. So I think the bill is going to come up to say that, to eliminate that as an option because we can't get the serum. So it will only be the electric chair that they can select. Now some people was talking about the firing squad, but I don't think it's going to be the firing squad. I think it's just going to be the electric chair. But regardless, I think the situation is going to come up as to whether or not it would be retroactive. Because we have people like Dylan Roof that did the heinous crime. I'm not sure what he selected. But those individuals who are on death row that selected lethal injection, the question is going to become, do we now go back to them and tell them they have to select, or tell them that they will be given the electric chair? And I think that's going to make the debate very, very, very interesting. And y'all can follow the debate if you all want to download the app, or either you can go to our website, and all of the sessions are live streamed. Let's see what else comes. We have the college trustees. They're coming up. We'll be voting on those on Wednesday. Wednesday, March the 3rd. And I know USC have one that has more than one individual in it. I don't know if it'll dwindle down to one. But just a plug, one of my constituents, Alice English, is running for that seat, so I'm hoping that he's going to continue back on USC. I know Lander has open in South Carolina State. The young lady who's running for that seat, she's uncontested. It may be one or two others, but those are the schools we'll be looking at. So there's a lot of legislation going on. We have some legislation coming about that's dealing with voting rights. We have other education bills coming up. For those Palmetto scholars, you know what? When I talked about Palmetto scholars before, it was really the life. On the Palmetto, the one that came up on that one was we had a young lady come testify because she chose, after she got her Palmetto scholarship, to go to a 2-year school. Well, once she decided to transfer to the 4-year school, they would not allow her to use the remaining 2 years on the Palmetto scholarship. So we passed legislation to say that they can go to a 2-year school for 2 years, and then they can still receive the scholarship for the other remaining 2 years at a 4-year school. So that was a really, really good one. And it was really interesting because it was a student that had been impacted that came and advocated for other students in case they wanted to do the same thing. So we have voting rights bills coming up where I know one in particular dealing with the signature and whether or not the signatures ought to be verified. We have one coming up where the governor can change in the way the appointments are made to the state election commission, I think it may be giving the governor a little more authority there. So that's one you may want to watch. I'm going to make sure I read that one in detail. Also, we have some more education bills that's coming up. It appears that that large education bill that came about last year is being broken down into small pieces and presented to us. So I hope I've given you all enough. I'm not sure how long I was supposed to talk, but I wanted to make sure that I would give you enough information so you really know what's going on here. I just encourage you all, if you're not my constituent, that you will keep in contact with your legislators, your House members, and your senators, so you can know what we're doing here, and we can know how these laws impact your lives. And if they're laws that you disagree with or that you would like for us to support, let us hear from you. And I know some people say, well, what's the best way? Well, all of my constituents who want it have my cell phone number, so they text me, they call me, but you would have to talk to your legislator and see what would be that best methodology for contacting them to let them know how you feel about certain bills and certain pieces of legislation. And I do serve on the Education Committee. My first term here, I served on 3M, which is Medical, Military, Public, and Municipal Affairs. On the Education Committee, which I now serve, Education and Public Works, I serve on the Higher Ed Subcommittee and also on Transportation Subcommittee. And we've had some pretty interesting legislation come through. But I've talked a lot, so I won't go into details. But if you go to that website, you can find the legislation that's come through that we've passed and the pieces that have come through that committee for us to vote on and decide whether it's going to go to the full committee. And if it makes it through the full committee, then to the House for debate. With that, this is Annie E. McDaniel, your House member for South Carolina, House District 41. I am the treasurer for the Black Caucus, and I'm just excited about all the work that we have doing there. I'm excited about this opportunity I've been given as the treasurer and a member of the Legislative Black Caucus to share with you a little bit about me and what's been happening with the South Carolina General Assembly during this 124th session. Thank you.